We gotta talk about the Epstein files, bro. And I know everyone's talked about it, but first of all, there's some new stuff since I think a lot of the big videos came out. Specifically, Elon Musk going insane on the timeline today, trying to defend himself from the obvious lie that he said. Actually, I think the most important part, wait, does anyone have the video of Kash Patel? This one, this is the one. Okay, let's just start with this. September 2025, Kash Patel says this.
None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
This is Kash Patel saying there was zero credible evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked minors to anyone. Do you guys remember this? Middle of last year where they tried to go with the idea that Jeffrey Epstein acted completely alone, no one else was involved? It was the most insane fucking story. There was a bit where Trump was talking about how he might have been like a double agent to try and take Epstein down. They went with that for a bit. He was like a fucking white hat pedophile. It was so insanely stupid. But this is under oath. Kash Patel saying there's no evidence. And now we are not but a few months later, and we are getting troves and troves and troves of documents that this guy had being released that say the exact opposite. And so many people are proven directly to have lied. The actual files released, because everything's so heavily redacted, doesn't fully prove anything. There's no videos yet. The timestamps and the dates prove that a lot of people who said they stopped talking to Epstein, oh, I'm disgusted by the guy, I'll never talk to him, did talk to him after he was convicted of being a pedophile. And they did it in very like chummy ways. There's like email after email after email from many, many, many powerful people. All of them have said, I didn't know the guy, or I knew him in New York circles back in the 90s. And it's like from 2013 being like, what's up, best friend? Can we go to the island? It's crazy. I mean, it's like all of their stories have a hole completely blown wide open in them. The two most hilarious, although there are many to talk about, are Howard Lutnik and Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, here's this fucking tweet. Shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. Yet they named me before even Prince Andrew did visit. And then the emails are Elon Musk begging to go to the island. Just begging multiple times, like multiple times asking to go. And then saying things like, you know, girls for the win. And I mean, we should get the fucking emails. Again, 2013, after he has been convicted as a sex offender. We'll be in the area over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit? Always space for you. December 25th, on Christmas 2012, Elon Musk wrote, do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids are home over Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene and let loose. A peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. And then the ratio on my island might make your wife uncomfortable. All of this happened well after he said he was totally refusing. Once I knew about this guy, I didn't refuse. It completely blows a hole in that. And then again, next up is the fucking Howard Lutnik ones, dude. Okay.
He opens the doors and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he like gets like weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me. And I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Really?
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh.
And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift.
Yes.
Wow, what a powerful statement from Howard Lutnik. What a powerful fucking statement. It would be a shame if it's completely fucking contradicted by the emails that were leaked after that supposed meeting where you said, I'll never be in the room with him, he's gross, where you're asking to have dinner with him. We're landing in St. Thomas, place out to plan hangovers around. Where are you located? So even for your account good? He made that specific room. I could never be in that specific room with him again. There's more. Let's watch Coffee's other video. I think he's probably got it. So we'll watch that. People are saying he's already covering this. So
Huge bombshells about some of the most powerful people on the planet. I can't believe they let some of this stuff out. I mean, it is stunning. Honestly, one of the biggest lies we've seen is the idea that the FBI could possibly come to us and say, not only is there not a client list, there was no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Guys, we're about to see planned blackmail to one of the most powerful people on the planet, and that is Bill Gates.
do you think Bill Gates is the craziest one? I mean, I think Bill Gates having a fucking STD and hanging out with Epstein, that is damning for Bill Gates. But like, the craziest part to me is that 37 different people in this current administration appear in the files, including the guy that just appointed a Fed chair.
For Gates, obviously, because you usually wouldn't blackmail somebody for something that's completely false or fake. I mean, maybe he did that. But we also know Bill Gates had affairs. Obviously, Melinda credits it for their divorce.
It's not even all out. People are saying it's not even close to all out. They still have, I mean, at minimum, I think there's a lot more files actually, but there's also the video. It has now been confirmed. It's been corroborated. There is video and they're not releasing it. So it's like, there's just so fucking much more. This is what they redacted. This is what like...
Bill Gates, of course, maintains that it was completely above board. He says the fact this allegation was in here just shows how much Epstein was willing to defame people. But Epstein lays it out. He says he helped Bill get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russian girls, facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, and to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. Look, guys, this is exactly...
Dude, to even include that is like embarrassing. That's insane. I'm gonna blackmail you. I have you cheating on your wife with fucking Russian prostitutes. You're a pedophile. Also, you used Addie to cheat at bridge. What? Don't even fucking include that.
Do we know for sure that Bill Gates did all of that? No, of course we don't. But do I think Bill Gates was innocently looking for charity advice from a after he already pled guilty? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not that gullible. And speaking of not that gullible, we've been lied to also by another richest guy.
It's funny because all these people, like, who's the black swan author? Nassim Taleb. This guy's in the files like 10 times, and it's all to be like, no, I do not want to hang out with you. I'm not going to your party. Do not invite me. Take me off the list. Like, that is, it's like so easy to do. The fact that people are making like, well, how could I have possibly? No, it's like, bro, first of all these emails in 2012, 2013 are years after the conviction.
Elon Musk, who has been saying for years that it is a lie that he went to Epstein's island. In fact, he says he refused to go. From Elon, he says, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island. I refused. He says, anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Later responding to another headline which said Elon Musk planned trip to Epstein's private island, and he says this is false. But of course, we start to dig through the files, and we can see on Epstein's calendar that Elon Musk is booked in December 6th of 2014. But maybe you don't believe that. That's just the word of Jeffrey Epstein. But maybe you'll believe the word of Elon Musk, who was caught emailing Jeffrey Epstein to go to his island post the guilty plea. Elon Musk writes, "Will be in BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays. Good time to visit." Jeffrey Epstein says, "I will send a heli for you." Later, Elon Musk writes to Epstein, probably just to Lula and me, his ex-wife, what day and night would be the wildest party on your island? The world's richest man is asking the most
Dude, okay, again, there's a lot more files to come and videos and more to come out. A lot of the people, like Elon Musk, are running defense and trying to take the absolute most charitable defense of these tarnishing emails. Elon's calling, by the way, some of them fake. He's saying some are real, some are fake. But the very simple, obvious explanation is that where there is smoke, there is fire. And we should get to Trump in a second, but like the idea that these people are photographed with him, emailing him, visiting him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people that are defending it, I guess, will not be happy until they see a literal video. But it's like, this is like such obvious. There's so overwhelming amount of evidence. And then also to be proven that you're lying, how can we take your word again? When Elon Musk goes, oh, well, that one was because it's taken out of context or whatever. It's like, bro, you said it didn't happen. If you years ago had been like, okay, yes, I tried to go to his island for a wild party, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've lied and you've lied and you've lied and you've lied and you've lied, and now you want to get benefit of the doubt? There's every new piece of information contradicts you.
Guys, he can't even play the I went to go study math excuse, which is what all these guys do. They say, hey, I just went to go talk to scientists. Elon's like, hey, I don't want to do that. I'm looking for a party.
It's so funny. I mean, he's got multiple emails on Christmas with his kids being like, listen, I want the wild, like, I want the fucking Diddy experience. I want the wildest fucking Epstein Island experience. By the way, you are a convicted pedophile that I'm emailing. It's funny to dog on Elon. But, you know, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but some of the stuff in these files are so fucking disgusting. And it goes so deep. There's a web of people all clearly aware.
Howard Lutnik was on the record calling Jeffrey Epstein the greatest blackmailer ever.
So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participated.
right.
That's what.
But not you, Howard.
You know, get a massage, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Interesting.
You assume.
Okay, so Howard has a different perspective. Now, if you don't know, that guy, do you think he's just telling the truth there? Even this guy who's contradicting the official narrative, this guy literally lived next to Jeffrey Epstein. This guy who's like, I'm going to tell the truth. Those guys participated. Does he know something we don't know? Because it's interesting. Mr. I'm his neighbor had to also explain how he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And he lays it out pretty simply. He goes, yep, I lived next to him, but in 2005, I had such a horrible
It just strains fucking credulity. The idea that you were the guy's neighbor for years and years and years. You know that everyone else was part of his, you're even saying they're all blackmailed and they're part of it. And then you're caught in a lie and you still want people to believe, like, by the way, it was Howard Lutnik or Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary. People are giving me shit for saying it should have been Scott Bessent over him. Scott Bessent, my gay icon, is not in the files. He punched Bill Pulte in the eye. I'm not saying he's not stupid. I'm not saying he's not fucking bending over for Trump, but I'd rather have him than this fucking pedophile.
In 2005, I had such a horrible experience that I knew I could never talk to him again.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
I can't. The fucking audacity to know that there's emails that prove this wrong and to just go, I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run this obvious, disprovable lie. Dude, he could have said like, yeah, I mean, the families, sometimes when we were in St. Bart's, we would go to dinner. I didn't know anything about, like, you could do that where there's smoke, there's fire, you're hanging out with them all the time, you should fucking know, you're probably guilty. But it makes you seem 100 times guiltier when you make up a story about how, oh yeah, he was disgusting and I said I'll never be in a room with him. That makes you seem like you're really fucking guilty.
Jeffrey Epstein, good morning, Howard. Jeffrey wished me to pass you along. Nice seeing you. They clearly met, and the guy is just lying about it to your face, to the American public's face, and they tried to hide it from us. I cannot emphasize this enough. They're lying through their teeth. You think this guy perfectly remembers a 2005?
He's asking to avoid him. That's probably gonna be Howard Lutnick's fucking defense. No, I sent that email to figure out exactly where he'd be so I could go somewhere else for dinner. That was my fucking plan. Because I think this guy's so fucking gross that I didn't ever want to be near. I just had to constantly email him all the time to find out his dinner schedule.
These guys don't even care about being consistent, and they're all throwing each other under the bus. Don't you remember Elon Musk saying, the time to drop the really big bomb, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason.
It's actually so much funnier. I guess in a cosmically funny way. Obviously, it's fucking horrendous, but it's funnier in just a stupidity way that he did drop this, but knowing that he is in dozens of those emails, to have hung out with Epstein multiple times. He was probably banking on this part, that they were not going to be made public. He was probably throwing Trump under the bus because he thought, well, if Trump, I know Trump's in there, so it's not going to be made public.
The FBI's National Threat Operations Center. And the challenge with confirming some of this is that these are anonymous tips, or they black them out at least, so we don't know who they are, and anyone can drop a tip. Now, that doesn't mean that you should disregard them. It just means we can't verify them. The other challenge is that the FBI has a heavy incentive to discredit anything with Donald Trump in it, just because he's in the White House right now, obviously. And so I want to be clear, there are notes related to some of these submissions where they say things like complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate redacted. You know, it's hard to tell how much this is the proper due diligence of the FBI, which they should be doing, of course, and not all
Yeah, I think this is the smoke and fire thing, though. I mean, listen, if you read these, and I actually don't necessarily recommend it, depends on how much you really fucking want to know. Those are, I mean, they're truly disgusting. They describe really, really heinous acts. You know, it's like a dozen, more than that, different people all sending tips to the FBI, all describing in detail shit that Donald Trump did. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you're photographed with him all the time, and you're in the emails, and do you know, all that adds up. It's smoke and fire. It's the idea that it's all fake. It's all some fucking Obama written hoax is crazy.
There's very explosive claims about big parties with her, other younger girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. There's claims third hand about a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book citing Leslie Wexner, Epstein, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Ghislaine
You
Maxwell.
skipped over Robin Leach strangling a young girl to death at a party. All of these people are just making it up. It defies fucking logic.
Is in the videos as well. And it goes on like this for a while. Some of the complaints are just like very graphic, and obviously I'm gonna censor out some of it. But I should also mention the DOJ claims that some of these claims were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had any shred of credibility, they would have certainly been weaponized against President Trump already. Now, I agree that if a complaint is timed right before an election, there definitely could be some other motivations to that. But it's also ridiculous to say that anything in the Epstein files, if it were true, would have come out already. Because why didn't we see the stuff about Bill Gates, for example? I mean, that stuff apparently has been sitting in here for a long time. And not only did no one talk about it, the FBI...
The answer is obvious. All of these people are mutually assured destruction. There's so many fucking people, rich and powerful, in this fucking file. And this is just the small percentage they've shown. There are so many powerful people across the political spectrum that it was to the benefit of many, many people that this not get released under either administration. That's the obvious reason that any targeted release of one part to try and hurt your opponent would end up blowing back to hit a bunch of people in your network. Well, that was a disgusting thing to read. I can click this and it's even more disgusting. So, two fucking bad choices.